In this world, influencing associations are everything you need to make an evolution to the next higher platform. Influencing associations are called material modes of nature or gunas in Sanskrit, and in Bhagavad Gita they have been widely described in various chapters with a great introduction in the 14th chapter, where Lord talks about the Prakriti or Mahad Brahma as the extreme potentiality, the in toto potentiality called Mahad Brahma, where the potentiality takes the form of practical existence because of dissemination of the Atman into this crucible of potentiality. The potentiality crucible has been described as a uterus which will be impregnated by Paramatman with the multitudes of Atman. These Atmans will go and attach to the wall of this uterus. And this wall is what creates the association. So, to be what you are not, the avyaktadini bhutani vyaktam madhyani bharata, the avyakt Atman becomes the vyakt JeevaBhuta. The avyakt soul becomes the manifested creature or being. So it has to take up certain identity portions. Mam yoniram ahad brahm tasmin garb dadhamyam संभव सर्वभूतानाम ततो भवति भारत सर्व योनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः संभवन्तिया तासाम ब्रह्म महद योनिरहम बीज प्रदः पिता. This Mahad Brahm, Mahapran, the multitude of potentiality is the Prakriti. And I repeatedly impregnate the uterus or Prakriti with the Atmans. The breakdown of the Paramatman into the multitude of fractional consciousness moieties are the Atmans. And these Atmans, once they take root into the wall of the uterus, they will sprout as seedlings or yoni, different creatures. What determines the kind of creature you become? It determined by what your proclivities, your desires were at the time of dissolution of the Paramatman into the various smaller Atmans. So that is what the guna play is. Sattva or balance, knowledge and goodness, lightheartedness, and rajas of rag or extreme passion causing karma sangeshu, binding the individual with karma, mostly sakam karma. And lastly, nidra alasya pramaduttam tat tamsam udahritam, the thing that binds an individual with mood or ignorance, which are the threefold nidra, sleep, alasya, inertia, and pramad, the extreme madness of exploiting the senses to get a pleasure even when it is not capable of creating any pleasure. So based on the proclivities, the desires of sattva or rajas or tamas that the chitta particle harbors at the time of conversion of the totality of consciousness into individual creatures, it will manifest extreme of sattva, extreme of rajas or extreme of tamas. Sattvam rajastam iti guna prakriti sambhava dibnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyam. Sattvam rajastam iti guna prakriti sambhava. In Prakriti, there are three kind of manifestations of influencing associations. Nibnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyam. Nibnanti binds. Dehe dehinam avyam binds to the body of the individual that is harboring this body. Dehinam avyam. The avyam represents the Atman that cannot be exhausted, inexhaustible, something that cannot be ended by consumption. That is the dehinam avyam. Because avyakta bhutani vyaktam madhyani bharata avyakta nidhananya tatra ka paridevana. What is unmanifest in the beginning becomes manifest in the middle and then becomes unmanifest again. This manifest in the middle is the Mahad Brahm impregnating to create the creatures, you and I, based on the proclivities. The prime proclivities at the time of formation of universe or Shrishti, and the proclivities with which you will die at the time of pralaya or dissolution of the universe. Everything in between is just a carry forward of the proclivities from one life to another. So, when God talks about mam yonina mahad brahm tasmin garbdhamyam, he talks about the creation of the Shrishti. And sarv yonishu kauntaya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahm mahad yoniraham bij pradapita. Tasam brahm mahad yonir. That Brahm is the Mahad Yonir, is the big uterus. And Aham Bij Pratapita. I am the seed giving father. So this is the beauty of Shrishti or creation, which happens every now and then. But between Shrishti and Pralay are these cycles of the yugas that we are going through, in which we are carrying forward our desires. So be very careful of what you wish for. Because you are so powerful, you are part of the extreme, the part of the collective consciousness, the Paramatman. So whatever you will desire will manifest. Whatever you will want, you will become. You will become the object of your desires. Be careful what you wish for. That is the beauty of influencing association. Jar Bharat story, that the sage will become a deer. How does the sage become a deer? He should not have gone into a lower species, but he went into the lower species because of the extreme love, affection, desire to take care of the baby deer. So be careful of what you wish for. You might get what you wish and you might become what you wish. What better way of loving something as to become what you are loving? That is the way the Prakriti operates. So that is why extreme attachment is discouraged in Bhagavad Gita. Now, if you are not identifying with something repeatedly, you cannot get attached. The moment you identify with something, accept something as a set of cardinal references, vis-a-vis boy versus girl, son versus mother, unless you identify with certain traits, Sagun Brahman, you are not going to form relationships. You are not going to form attachments. And when those attachments are not there, the relationships are not there, you cannot get the highs and the lows. And the Atman, because it is conditioned to be in the state of peace, unperturbed peace, it will get very easily distracted when it gets these excitement dopamines or these the downsides of pain and suffering. So that is why we have to reduce the amplitude of joy, and that will reduce the amplitude of suffering, thereby bringing us closer to the neutrality axis of peace. And that is how you will start enjoying yourself all the time without needing these extrinsic outside stimuli. So, my friends, Mam chayo abhya vicharan bhakti yogin sevte saguran samtite brahma bhuyai kalpate. Mam chayo abhya vicharan. जो मेरे बारे में विचार करेगा, अभ्य विचारण, unalloyed devotion, bhakti yogin sevte, who will serve me with bhakti yog. Mam chayo abhya vicharan bhakti yogin sevte saguran samtite brahma bhuyai kalpate. He will translate the guna. Brahma bhuyai kalpate. He will return, come back to the Brahma lok. He will return, overcome these lower loks. We had talked in an earlier lecture that of the 7 lokas, the lower 3 lokas are the lokas of extreme rajas and some of tamas, especially if you go to the lower lokas, tal, talatal, patal. But as you go higher, you come to sattva lok. So, यदा सत्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयम याहि देववृत्त उत्तम नाम लोकान अमलान प्रतिपद्यते रजसी प्रलयम गत्वा कर्म संयुज्यते तथा प्रलयस्तमसी मूढ़ योनिषु जायते. Guy dying in excess of sattva will go to the upper lokas. The lokan amalan. Lokan amalan means lokas which are free from taint or impurities. Those are the Meher Lok, Jan Lok, Tap Lok. Here you exist as higher beings without a Panch Mahabhut Sharir. Because the Panch Mahabhut Sharir is the cause of impurities. यदा सत्वे प्रविद्धेतु प्रलयम याति देविता उत्तम लोकान अमलान परिबते रजसी प्रलयम गत्वा कर्म संगीषु जायते. Rajasi pralayam gatva, when you are dying in excess of rajas, rajasi pralayam gatva कर्म संगीषु जायते, you will die with karm sangeshu, attachment to activities. What kind of activities? Rajas activities. What kind of activities? Trishna activities, which create a lot of sensation of rag, passion, and trishna, desire. The rag, passion, and trishna, desire lead to attachment to your activities for the rewards, because those were the points of desire. You will become what you wish for. You will become the object of your desire. That is rajas. So rajas individuals, when they die at pralaya, they will come back as human beings, because they want to do certain activities. And activities can be best done in the human body, not the creature body. Animal body was basically meant to enjoy the sensual pleasures, indriya. So that is mood yoni. Mood yoni is the ignorance yoni, where the consciousness, the prefrontal cortex is not developed. So you are basically relying on the sensual enjoyments, and that's why there is pain. And you can see that any animal, if you look at it, by course of observation and intellectual discourses, you know that they are not having a better quality of life than most human beings. That you agree, that we are better off as human beings as animals. But if you ask the animals, they will say, no, we are enjoying. We are having the best time of our lives. We have done so much on the streets today that you will never do in your life, whole life. So that is why it is all about the frame of reference. From the animal's frame of reference, it has enjoyed so much that you will never enjoy. That is why sex you will relegate to the most animalistic instincts, because those are the tamasic attachments. They are very strong samskaras, very hard to get rid of. Food and sex are the first and the second most hard samskaras to evaporate or remove, eradicate. So that is why a relegation to the animalistic instincts in sex. Same relegation to the animalistic instincts happens when you're extremely hungry. We never get to that point because we always have food around. But if you start removing food from your life for longer durations, fasting will create a much larger impact in terms of return to the animalistic instincts than does sex. It's just that we have food available in excess. And that is why we feel that sex is the limiting factor. But food is more limiting than sex. We have talked about it in the past. Anyways, so to sum it up, my friends, the gunas or influencing associations form the wall of the Mahad Brahm, or the potentiality of creation, which is called Mahad Brahm, Mahaparan. The potentiality is converted into practicality or existence of Vyakt becomes Vyakt by the dissemination of the Atma, JeevaBhuta, into the Mahad Yunir. And that gives rise to the various creatures based on the portion of the wall of the uterus where you attach. Somewhere there is too much of sattva, somewhere there is too much of rag rajas, somewhere there is too much of mood tamas. So that will determine what kind of influencing associations we will carry forward. As our influencing associations, so will be our actions. As our actions, so will be our karma bandhan. As our karma bandhan, so will be our reincarnation. So eventual goal is to reduce the tamas, then reduce the rajas, then reduce the sattva, and then you become gunatit. Because Maam chayabhya vicharan bhakti yogin sevte sa gunan samtita brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He will transcend all the gunas and he will go to the Brahma Lok. Because Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Anjun Maupetu Konte Punarjamna Vidyate. You will oscillate from the 7th to the 1st, which is the Brahma Lok, to the Bhulok. You will keep oscillating between these 7 lokas until you obtain me. But once you obtain me, you will not come back here. So understand this concept of Shrishti and Pralaya, understand the concept of Punarjanam that happens repeatedly between Shrishti and Pralaya. But Shrishti and Pralaya, creation and dissolution, represent the grand events that happens once in a very, very long time at the end of one kalpa, when there will be release of all these sub-particles, the consciousness moieties or atmans, the fragments of consciousness which go and infest the Mahapran. But the Mahapran, Mahad Brahm itself is formed from consciousness. From Avyakt comes Vyakt, and Vyakt will dissolute back into the Avyakt. So, hope you like this video. Please feel free to leave your comments below. Jai Shri Ram.